Oh, hello there. We are here at MSR Cresson, the 1.7 mile track. This is my first track day at this track, and this is the second free session of the day. Working for the first time with instructor Quan. Quan said that I'd follow him for 1 lap, and then he'd follow me for 2 or 3 laps. I like that, because normally the instructors only follow us for 1 lap, so this was cool. So on the big screen, that is Quan's bike camera. The small screen up at the top, that's my camera. So on the big screen, we are seeing Quan's line around the track. And sometimes the lines vary slightly between instructors, so I think it's good to to have that footage here. At this point, I was still not pushing too hard, still trying to focus on staying on the line and focusing on body position. So sometimes I'm just like doing the whole thing in 3rd gear, not switching gears at all, just so that I can have one less thing to get my mind busy, right? Focusing again just on the line and body position at that time, at that point. Later in the day, I started increasing pace, but still just finding the proper gear for each section of the track. That's something I'm still learning, to make it smooth, making sure that my transition from one side to the other of the bike is smooth. Just trying to pick one thing at a time to work on. So this was 1 lap around the track. Here I'm going by Quan, that's me with the yellow jersey. Going into the tricky rattlesnake, which got a little better at it as the day went by, but it's really a tricky session. You have to go through it several times to start getting a hang of it. There's some traffic here. I have to be careful not to follow a rider in front who's off the line, right? I have to stay on the line regardless as to where people in front of me are. Right here I could probably have passed the riders here, but I'm usually very conservative, and then but then check out what will happen next. Right there. I should have done what Quan did there. That was my bad. But I'll make a separate video just to talk about passing, and I'll talk more about what just happened there. When we were back in class, Quan gave me feedback saying that I look comfortable on the bike. Body position is good. He said I'm a big guy, but I probably can lower my head a little more. But overall, I'm doing pretty good. So that's great, because again, feedback I had gotten so far, always, there's something to work on the body position. That's becoming increasingly better, so that's good. One also said that my lines are pretty good. I just have to tighten up some corners. He also suggested that I should back off on the straights a little so I can go smoother on the brakes. It seems like I'm hard braking, then I realized that I scrubbed off too much speed and have to get on the throttle again a little more before I get to the apex. But he also did compliment my trail braking into corners. I appreciate that, because it's something that I've been trying to practice more. Also, later that day I was chatting with Quan at the paddock, and he mentioned that I actually have the pace to riding level 2. That's my second endorsement for level 2, but for the time being I'll follow Randy's, the other instructor's suggestion, and hang around in level 1 for a little longer, just to practice more passing skills. We saw a good example in this video showing that I really need that. This is again a very fun section, 3 left-handers in succession. Yeah, watching the video I can see like the parts where I can tighten up the corners there. Go around the rattlesnake one more time. This time was a little better. Yeah, here we have to make an effort to really find a straight line through those corners instead of just swooping around the corner. Later in the day started doing this turn, making this turn a little faster as well. Sort of like disregarding the bumps that are there and just going for it. Coming up, the next corner is one where we have to take a shallow line so that it puts us on the left side of the track here, right? Because we have a left-hander coming right up, and it's one of those that we just pretty much hug to the candy stripe to make the turn. Same thing here, it's another place I should tighten up. Right, here's one of the sections where Quan said, just back off on the gas a little bit, because see here, I overshoot that, came in a little bit too hot for what I was doing there, and then went a little wide on the turn. But I'm pretty glad with the feedback that I got, and getting more and more comfortable with faster paces and everything.